Today we're going to look at how to personalize at scale for the event management software example, okay? So who are we going to target? We're going to target event managers. Event directors tend to be a little bit too senior, out the loop, very, very busy people, so lower response rates. And further down the chain, like event coordinators tend to not be senior enough to make these sort of decisions, or do we really want to be booking a demo with them? So event managers are the sweet spot. So job titles, event manager, no other. People in the United States, working for companies in the United States, employee range between 201 to 500, okay? And this allows us to track our TAM properly because we can outreach this list, and then we can look at the 500 to 1,000 range, then we can look at the 1,000 to 2,000 range, etc., see which list comes out on top, and then we can recycle our TAM every quarter as well. So we've got this list, we've come out with 1.6k leads in total. We're not going to be looking at signals because we're going to be doing a lot of enrichments in another tool. So let's just pull the raw list. And when we export that list, 1.4k, and import that over to Freckle, we get this list. Now, we have done a whole bunch of filtering that's narrowed this list down to 297 rows in total. So where have all the leads gone? Well, in this list, we've got tier 2 and tier 3 leads. Tier 2 are those where we have a top of mind event. So it could be they've just had a recent event, they've got an upcoming event. But tier 3 could be we can't actually find a relevant event for these people, but they are event managers, so we want to send them a different kind of messaging, maybe email only. Maybe tier 2s, we want to send emails, and we want to cold call, and we want to do some LinkedIn outreach as well. So there we go. So this is our tier 2 list, 297 rows. We've validated emails, okay? So that will have reduced the list to about 80% of the total. Then what we've done is we have added a prompt in here. Now I'll show you what that prompt looks like. So we're taking inputs like their email, company name, website, job title, department, company address. So step 1, we want to categorize the account. So are they a university? Are they a school? In which case, put them in the bucket of education. Are they an event planner, event management, event production, event agency? In which case, put them in event management. Are they a hotel, resort, venue, convention center? In which case, put them in venue management. Are they none of the above but have a business domain and they're a corporate company? In which case, put them in corporate. Are they a government, non-profit, healthcare association? Put them in other. And if none of the above, put them in unsure. Okay, so we want to reach out to corporate, we want to reach out to education, and we want to reach out to other because that's what matches the ICP of the client. So we're going to filter out any other, and that's obviously reduced some leads. We then want AI to identify events spanning from the last 4 weeks all the way up to the end of 2026. We then want to only pull events that are flagship, that are relevant to the buyer persona. Okay, doing a whole bunch of filtering to make sure the list is the right list, the right events relevant to that person, relevant to the company. And then we want to do something called a top of mind determination. So what is top of mind to that person right now? Okay, have they just had an event in the last, say, 2 weeks? And so they're reflecting on that event, doing process improvements. Are they in the middle of an event cycle right now? In which case they're going to be super busy preparing for it. Do they have an upcoming event, 4 weeks to 90 days out, so they're ramping up? Or do they have an event that's 90 days or even further out, in which case they're more early preparations and planning? So determining which is top of mind. And then what I want you to do is identify the top of mind event given the top of mind category. So say if they're currently reflecting on a recent event, what is that recent event? Or say if they're in the middle of an event, what is that event? I want you to output the date, the month, the name. I want you to normalize that name so that we can use it for outreach, in cold email, in cold calls. Okay, and then what I want you to do is do another round of validation. So is this event relevant to the person's job role? Okay, so if they're event manager in a department that's got nothing to do with an event being hosted by, say, another department, then it's not relevant. Okay, and I also want you to validate, is this a flagship event? Because if it's not, if it's, say, a tiny little event with 50 attendees, or it's a 5k race, do they need event management software? Not really. Okay, so flagship event, relevant, and then I want you to output a whole bunch of columns that we've discussed so we can get the event information. And when we do that, we have company category and we filtered out for corporates. education and other. And we've got the top of mind category. So near term, upcoming, post 90 days, current event, recent event. And if we scroll across, we've got the event name for outreach. We can picture this inside an email and see that this is looking pretty good. We've got an event month, which we can pull into the emails. And then we can start building out our copy. And here's the messaging prompt. So we take first name, event name for outreach, event month, top of mind category and company category as inputs. We can then build out the subject. So if it's a recent event, we can say reflecting on event name. Current event could be event name for outreach. Near term upcoming event could be preparing for event name. Or post 90 days could be planning event name or event name. And then we can have a look at openers. So we can rotate between hey, hi, and hello. So we're not using the same opener each time. And now we can look at building out the hooks. So for recent event name could be saw you recently ran event name, how'd it go? So looking for engagement, whereas this variation could be saw you recently ran event name. Current event could be imagine you're busy with event name right now, we'll make this quick, respecting their time. Bet you're busy with event name right now, question mark. Near-term upcoming event could be imagine you're ramping up for event name right now, that right, engagement. Imagine you're ramping up for event name right now. Or post 90 days out can be some big events lined up this year, like event name and event month. And then we can start going past the hook. So the next one would be having a look at pain. The next one after that can be having a look at relevant social proof. So identifying similar companies and results they had and things like that. And then we can start rotating CTA. So I'll show you what that looks like in Freckle. Okay, so we've got the subject, preparing for nationwide prime time. So again, this would indicate that it's an upcoming event. And if we scroll back across, near term upcoming, fantastic. Post 90 days out, we're using the planning term rather than preparing, great. You can see here that we've got post and post, randomizing between planning versus the event name on its own. Cool. And then we can have a look at the openers. So hi Shannon, hey Rebecca, hello Rachel. And then in terms of the hooks, we've got imagine you're ramping up for nationwide prime time right now, some big events lined up this year. Let's have a look at a recent event one. Reflecting on. Saw you recently ran Cowboys Christmas extravaganza, how'd it go? So you can see we've got the right tenses, the right hook, depending on again, top of mind category. And then in terms of pain, now, when we spoke to the client, there's one or two situations. Their best customers are either using a tool that they're not very happy with because it's too complicated and admin heavy, or they're juggling 10 different tools and they're stitching workflows together. Now, we don't know which situation it is. And so what we're doing is we're applying both, but we're keeping them both short enough so that if the first one doesn't apply, they are going to read the second one. So we're basically covering their best customers, their best prospects, in one sentence. So again, upcoming events, event teams preparing with main competitor often say it's too complicated and admin heavy. Others juggled 10 different tools and ended up stitching workflows together. Okay, but if we have a past event, let's try and find one using event teams using main competitor often say it was too complicated and admin heavy. Others juggled 10 different tools and stitched workflows together. So you can see this one's a recent event. Here we go. Okay, and then we can have a look at social proof. So if it's a corporate company, when similar corporate companies switch to our tool, they cut relevant pain and achieved relevant outcome. I've replaced these because I obviously don't want to show you what the client name or who the competitor is, but it's just to show you how we're structuring things. And then in terms of the CTA, we're rotating between worth seeing how they did it, open seeing how they did it, or worth exploring alternatives. So this is all for email 1, but we also want to add more personalization in an email 3 follow-up. So we've added another line of social proof, which we'll show you in a second. So we've got all of the components of the emails. We can then add that to instantly. Now, it's Sunday now. So on Friday at midday, we launched this campaign. We've sent 285 emails and we already have generated 1 opportunity. So 3% progress on this campaign. So really good start. We'll see how it goes. But the point of this is to show you that we are personalizing at scale. So if we go into the sequences and we look at number 1, we can see how we've structured it. We don't need to be doing any A/B testing because we're doing all of that in Freckle. And then we can actually have a look at positive replies and do some analysis on what is landing, what isn't landing. So here, and if we actually preview this, we can see, hi Catherine, some big events lined up this year like Rally Poor Puerto Rico in April. We've got the pain line, we've got the social proof line, and then the worst seeing how they did it. Let's go to another one. Hi Emily, imagine you're ramping up for Seafood Expo North America right now. Again, the relevant pain, relevant social proof line. Go to another one. Hi, Olivia. Imagine you're ramping up for Beyond the Beltway right now. Let's have a look at another one. Hi, Shannon. Imagine you're ramping up. There's a lot of ramping ups. Let's see if we can get a different one. Here we go. Hello, Rachel. Imagine you're busy with Investor Vision Day right now. We'll make this quick. Relevant pain line, relevant social proof line. Okay. And then for email 2, what we're doing, so after 2 days, we basically just want to see, look, have we actually pulled the right event? So, hey, Catherine, is Rally Pool Puerto Rico top of mind right now, or am I off here? Now, if we're correct, but they just missed the first email or didn't get back, they'll reply and say, hey, no, this is relevant, but now's not a good time. Okay, cool. We've got good prompts in place, just not a good time for this person. They're not in market. Or if they go, actually, you're a little bit off here. I'm not involved with this event, or I'm involved with a different event, then we know how we can change the prompts in the future. So it's win-win. Feedback helps us to iterate. Okay, and then email 3 is where we go, let's change angles a little bit here. Hey, Catherine, worth sharing our automations playbook. Relevant company followed it and achieved outcome X, or avoided pain Y, or cut pain Y, things like that. If we look at another one, worth sharing our event playbook. So you can see here that we're randomizing between event playbooks, automation playbooks. And then in step 4, we're just following up again. Did you want me to send that over? Worth sending over, or are you not the right person for this? Okay, because if they're not the right person, they can then say, oh, actually, you need to speak to James instead, or forward the email on. So we've got a 2-day delay, 5-day delay, and then 7-day delay. And like I say, we've already generated 1 opportunity with only 285 emails sent. So let's see how that goes. And then the fantastic thing as well is we're just looking at 201 to 500 employee organizations. You know, the bigger employee organizations are going to have bigger events. So we can now start tracking the TAM. Next week we can do 500 to 1,000, things like that. And the other thing to mention as well is this is, like we said, 297 leads out of a list of 1.4k. So we can call this tier 2. But what about all the tier 3? What about all the people we couldn't find relevant events for, but they're an event manager? Do we just not want to reach out to them at all? Well, it depends on capacity, but if you have enough infrastructure, email infrastructure, things like that, what we recommend is sending marketing value, marketing nurture emails to get people to sign up to webinars, send them real value, and then you're having more touch points with them. And in the future, if they need event management software, they will come to you. They will think of you. You'll be top of mind. The point here is, for your tier 2s, definitely want to focus more of your sales time, focus more of your outreach efforts there. But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't be sending marketing nurture emails to the tier 3s, because there is a lot of value in that. So like I say, people who we think are closer to being in market, we don't know for certainty, but high probability of being in market, we can send more bottom of funnel stuff to. And for people that are tier 3, where we don't have as much information, let's just send them value and we can nurture them and play the long game. So any questions, add to the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.